Tonight, you are not yourself. You are someone else. Someone quieter. Someone who no longer rushes. Who no longer fights the clock or the mirror or the noise inside their head. Tonight, you are a man whose name has not been spoken aloud in years, because names fade, like ink left too long in salt water. And this man, he has lived with the tide for so long, he no longer knows if he's the one pulling it or the one being pulled. You live in a small room now, stone walls, one window always closed, a desk, a bowl of water that sometimes ripples even when the air is still. The others don't knock, not because they fear you, but because they've forgotten you. And that, somehow, is easier. You wake before the birds, before the light, when the world is still half asleep and the dreams haven't yet decided if they want to stay. You don't need an alarm. There's something else, a feeling, a murmur just beneath thought, a breath that isn't yours, pressed against the back of your mind, and it says, "Rise." So you do, but not yet. For now, you, the listener, you are still here, still somewhere safe, still in your own body. Take a breath, a slow one, and let it settle in your chest like mist over still water. No hurry, let your shoulders fall. Your tongue rest gently behind your teeth. Let your jaw soften, your hands relax. You are not here to think. You are here to fade, to float. Tonight, you are being invited into a story without heroes, without villains, without even a clear beginning, just a rhythm, a repetition, a pattern so subtle you might not even notice it guiding you inward. That's how he lives, this man you will become, not with drama, but with devotion, to things no one else sees, to tasks no one else values, to silence itself. And you may ask, why him? Why tonight? But this is not a night for questions. It is a night for drifting, for letting the self you wear like a heavy coat slip off your shoulders and fall gently to the floor. Because he, this man who walks without sound, who eats alone, who stares at things no one else dares to look at, he understands sleep, not just as a function, but as a gate, a practice, a return. He does not dream, or if he does, he does not tell. He writes instead, always in blue. Black ink curls and vanishes on his page, but blue stays. He copies the same symbols again and again, his hand steady, his face calm, as if transcribing something older than language. Some say he hears voices. Others say he speaks to fish, or to the fog, or to something under the water that never sleeps. But they don't really say it. They whisper it. Like children sharing ghost stories they half hope aren't true. He doesn't mind. He's not waiting for understanding, only the rhythm, only the pulse, only the call. And tonight, you'll be there with him. You'll feel the floor under his feet. You'll breathe the damp morning air from his lungs. You'll see the shapes he draws, not with curiosity, but with muscle memory. You will live one of his days. Not to figure him out, not to follow his madness, but because his sleep may teach you how to reach your own. So let go. Let your breath become slower. Let your heartbeat soften. Let your thoughts unravel. Don't worry if your mind wanders. That's what minds do. Let them. They'll come back when it's time. There is no need to hold on. Just follow the steps. The light footsteps of a man who was never in a hurry. The long, drawn-out silences between his actions. The sacred stillness of someone who has learned to listen for what doesn't speak. And maybe, by the end, you'll hear it too. But don't reach for it. Let it come on its own. Like sleep. Like the tide. Like something rising from the deepest dark with no intention of being seen. Now, you're ready. Close your eyes a little further. Let the light in the room dim. Let your body remember what it means to rest. Tonight, you are not yourself. You are the follower, and you are exactly where you need to be. The year is 1927. Somewhere along the northeastern coast of America, in a town whose name has been lost to erosion and shame, the fog rises before the sun. It rolls in like something alive, not violent, but aware, slipping between roof tiles and under doors, settling into wood like secrets. This place is not on the maps anymore, at least not the new ones. The government never officially erased it. But roads bend away from it now, as if by instinct. Salt hangs in the air, not crisp, like ocean breeze, but stale, thick, heavy, like breath left too long in a locked room. The buildings lean slightly, as if listening, wooden walls swollen from decades of moisture, window panes fogged from the inside. The paint is peeling in long, slow strips, revealing older colors beneath. Layers of lives no longer lived. The streets are narrow, paved in uneven stones that remember every footstep. Even now, when few remain to walk them, and yet the town is not dead. It breathes, softly, out of sync with the world around it. The houses here have personality, not charm, not warmth, but personality. You pass one that seems to glare, another that cowers, and one, near the end of the lane, that watches. This is where he lives. The man without a name, the one you are now. His home is narrow, vertical, a strange mix of ship and shrine, made of dark timber with a pointed roof like a praying hand. No address, no mailbox. Only a door that opens inward, as if swallowing. There is no electricity here, only oil lamps and candlelight. A thin chimney exhales a slow ribbon of smoke, as if the house itself were sighing in its sleep. The town's harbor lies just a few blocks away, if blocks is the right word for a place this crooked. Algae spreads across the old stone steps. Boats rock silently in the tide, even when there is no wind. The sea is close, too close. Its sound is constant but inconsistent, sometimes crashing, sometimes whispering, sometimes speaking, and beneath it, they say, there are ruins. The locals, what few remain, do not speak of them. They tighten their lips when asked. Their eyes cloud and they change the subject. They don't deny it. They just refuse. But the man you are now, he listens. He walks to the water at dawn, barefoot, even in winter. The stones bite, but he doesn't flinch. He stops at the edge, lets the sea mist soak his skin, and whispers words that don't belong to any known tongue. He isn't mad. Not in the way you'd think. He's faithful to something older and deeper than the sea itself. Back in town, shutters rattle as he passes. Children turn away. A dog once barked at him, just once. It never barked again. There is a bakery on the corner. It no longer sells bread. The window is dusted in flour that's years old. But he still stops, as if remembering something, or mourning it. Nothing moves here unless it must. Even the wind feels deliberate. The lamps flicker in strange patterns, not from draft, but as if reacting to thought. The shadows on the walls stretch longer than their objects. And once, a woman swore she saw footprints forming in dry dirt without anyone there to make them. But people don't talk about that anymore. They've learned to look away, to forget. And you're learning it too. You begin to recognize the streets, not because they're labeled, they're not, but because they feel familiar in a way that makes no sense. The stones remember your steps. The fog knows your scent. The sea calls you by name, not the one your parents gave you, the older one, the one you forgot when you were born. In this place, time folds. There are moments when the sun refuses to rise, and others when it sets too early. The moon sometimes shows up at noon, a pale eye blinking through clouds. Your house is always cold, but never bitter. It's the kind of cold that wraps around you, like being held by something vast. Inside, books line the walls. Not in shelves, just in stacks, growing taller every week. The ink within them shifts. What was readable yesterday now swims. Letters rearranged by some unseen tide. You've stopped trying to translate. Now, you simply copy and wait, because this town is patient. And so are you. No one rushes here, not even the end. And as you lie in bed, still half in yourself, half in him, you feel it. The setting, the stage, the ancient quiet. Waiting. Ready for the next movement, the next ritual, the next sleep. The town exhales again, and the fog returns. Thicker now, almost warm. You are ready. You are awake now. But not in the way most people wake. There is no alarm, no sudden jolt from dreams, no sense of needing to be anywhere else. You simply open your eyes when the air shifts. There is a stillness in the room, dense like fog, but dry like old paper. The kind of stillness that doesn't come from silence, but from observation, as if something has just finished watching you, and politely stepped back. You don't stretch, you don't yawn. You rise. You move like water poured from a jar, without urgency, without thought. You have done this every morning for as long as the town has breathed. There is a rhythm to you, not learned, but remembered. You are barefoot. The floor is cold, but your skin no longer minds. You touch nothing at first. You simply stand and listen. To the room, to the walls, to the hum beneath the boards. And then, without speaking, you walk to the basin in the corner and pour water from the ceramic jug. It is always cold, even in summer. You wash your face, your hands, your feet. Not as hygiene, but as right. You do not look into the mirror. There is one, small, square, and old, but you haven't truly seen your reflection in months. It flickers. And sometimes it doesn't follow your movements. Better to let it rest. Instead, you dry your hands with a cloth that smells faintly of salt and ink. You sit at your desk. The candle is already burned halfway down. You don't remember lighting it, but you never do. Your journal waits for you. The pages are thin, covered in rows of lupin symbols, each line a variation of the last. You write slowly, not to think, not to compose, to transcribe. You don't know where the words come from, only that they do. And if you don't let them out, your head begins to ring, a low, humming pain like pressure behind your eyes. So you write, always in blue ink, only blue. Black turns to ash on the page, red bleeds, only blue survives. Your hand moves without effort, as if it is not yours, as if it belongs to the page itself. And when you finish each line, you place a single drop of seawater at the top of the next. A ritual, a signal. This is your morning, and you wouldn't change it. Others might call this madness. You have heard the word whispered through shutters and under breath. But what they call madness, you have come to understand as preparation. You are not mad. You are attuned to something beneath thought, beneath the floorboards, beneath the sea. You do not speak. Words spoken aloud are too heavy, too slow, but you do hum sometimes, low and round, like the sound of a distant bell under water. It calms the house. It keeps the shadows from stretching too far. You keep the same robe, rough, gray, heavy. It has no markings, but sometimes, when the candle flickers, shapes seem to move across it. You have stopped asking why. The other rooms in your home are small, bare. Each holds only what is needed: a cot, a lamp, a book, a bowl. And on one wall, always the same wall, a carving. It changes, not dramatically, but enough that you notice. Lines deepen, angles shift, new grooves appear overnight. You never touch it, only clean it with a damp cloth and a kind of reverence you don't fully understand. There are days when you feel lighter, when your hands tremble after writing and the corners of your vision pulse. These days you eat less, you rest more, you light more candles. You do not fear these moments. They are signs that you are getting closer. Closer to what? You do not ask. Questions are for those still trying to stay awake. You are learning how to sleep. The true sleep, the one that doesn't end with morning. Sometimes your body goes still for hours. Not asleep, not awake. You sit with your journal open, and the candle melts to the nub, and time softens like clay in warm hands. When you return to yourself, you always find one new line written in your book, in your handwriting, but not from your hand. You never read them aloud, but you remember each one. They hum inside you like verses of a forgotten song. You are not afraid, not anymore. You have long passed the threshold where fear is useful. You are empty now, but not hollow. You are being prepared, molded, warmed, softened like wax for a seal you have not yet seen. And still you write, because that is what you do. You do not preach. You do not warn. You do not call. You follow. You write. You wait. You listen. And when the time comes, you will sleep. The deep sleep. The dreaming sleep. The sleep from which nothing returns the same. But for now, you light another candle, dip your pen, and begin again. Evening comes slowly in this place. The sun never truly sets. It simply gives up and disappears behind a wall of gray. You feel it before you see it. The stillness grows heavier, like a lid settling over the day. The temperature drops, but not sharply, more like a gentle warning that the time for action has ended. The world turns quiet, and so do you. Inside your home, the corners darken before the center. The shadows arrive early, and they do not leave quickly. You light the candles one by one, not all at once, never. Each flame must be invited, each wick touched with intention. It is not about light, it is about presence. There are 5 candles in total, each one placed in a specific position: on the desk, beside the water bowl, at the foot of the bed, before the carving on the wall, and at the windowsill facing the sea. You never move them. You never question their order. You were never told how to place them. You just knew. The act is slow, deliberate. You hold the match long after it has burned out, as if clinging to the last warmth of a spoken name. Once the room is lit, you remove your robe. You fold it neatly. It is heavy with silence and memory. Beneath it, your skin is pale, marked with faint impressions, as if the cloth itself has written things onto your body. You stretch your hands above your head. You do not look at them. You simply let them tremble for a moment, then go still. Your fingers are stained, blue, always, no matter how often you wash them. The ink lives in you now. You step into the other room, not larger, but emptier. This is where you eat, or used to. The plate is clean, the spoon unbroken, but you rarely touch them. You sit cross-legged on the floor, a shallow bowl of water before you. You place a single pebble in it. Each night a different one. You never reuse them. They vanish by morning. Some say the sea takes them back. Others say they dissolve. You do not ask. Above the bowl hangs a string, frayed, knotted, and swaying without breeze. You watch it, not for signs, not for meaning, just because it calms something deep in you. Then comes the writing, not in your journal, that belongs to the morning. This is for the wall where the carving lives. You take your brush, not a pen, and dip it in the candle wax first, then into the ink, a thin line, always horizontal, always underneath the carving. You draw one line each night, never more. The wall is almost full now. The lines pulse faintly in candlelight like veins. You never read them, but you know their weight. You do not speak during this time, not even a whisper. Your breath is slow, measured to the rhythm of your brush. You sleep on the floor. The bed is for waking. The floor is for forgetting. A thin straw mat separates you from the stone. You lie on your back, hands folded across your chest, eyes open until they aren't. The candle at the foot of the bed is the last to burn. It dims slowly. Sometimes it flickers with no wind. You do not dream immediately. First, there is waiting. You lie still, and the house changes. The sounds shift. The wood no longer creaks, it inhales. The air becomes thicker, as if something has joined you. You do not fear it. You know its shape, even though you've never seen it. It stands near the basin, always. Not watching, just present. And when it appears, you begin the breathing. 4 counts in, 4 counts held, 4 counts out, 4 counts still. You do not count aloud. You no longer count at all. Your body knows. It learned before you did. This is when sleep begins. Not the kind that ends with sunlight. The other kind. The soft, falling inward. The dissolving into warm dark. And as you drift, you hear the hum. Low, like the sea inside your bones. A resonance that fills you not with meaning, but with surrender. You are no longer writing. You are being written. The breath becomes slower. Your hands grow heavier. The floor no longer feels cold. It holds you, like a ritual stone, like an altar. The candles go out on their own, not all at once. Each flame fading like the syllables of a forgotten language. And you are no longer awake, but not quite asleep either. You are entering the between, the space where thought is memory, and memory is not yours, where the tide calls gently, not to pull you under, but to ask, "Are you ready?" And the answer is always the same, not in words, but in stillness. Yes, your body is no longer yours, not in the way it used to be, not in the way people speak of ownership, of identity, of flesh as boundary. It is still here on the floor, beneath the flickering shadow of the last candle. But something has changed. The weight feels different, not heavier, not lighter, just other. Like your bones no longer belong to gravity, but to memory. Your hands rest across your chest, and for a moment they feel distant, like hands you're only borrowing. You feel your breath, but not in your lungs. It moves through you like wind through an open room. You are both the vessel and the draft. The body begins to hum, not aloud. No one else would hear it. But inside, like a deep current beneath still water, a resonance that reminds you are not asleep, not fully. You are transitioning. Sleep, for you, is not unconsciousness. It is invitation, an act of descent. You feel the mat beneath your back, the cold stone beyond it. But instead of resisting, your muscles soften into it, welcoming the pressure, letting the earth hold you without tension. You do not fidget. You do not turn. The body no longer negotiates with discomfort. It simply obeys. Your skin feels thin now, not fragile, porous, as if the room itself is breathing into you. You feel the air as more than temperature. You feel its texture, its shape, its subtle patterns against your chest, between your fingers curling along your spine. Your mouth is closed, but your tongue tastes salt, not sharp, faint, like the ghost of a wave. Your eyes are shut, but they flicker. Not from dreams, from echoes. Shapes form, not visions, impressions, circles that never close, lines that move of their own accord, symbols you've never drawn. But no, you are not watching, you are remembering. And the body responds. The hum deepens. Your heartbeat slows but grows louder in your ears. Not rhythmic, not predictable, just present. Like a knock that doesn't ask to come in, only to be noticed. Your chest no longer rises and falls. It expands. It opens, as if making space for something old. Your arms feel warm now. Heavy, but not tired. Like stones soaking in sun beneath the sea. Your feet begin to tingle. Not from circulation, but from something approaching. You do not move. Movement would interrupt the offering. You lie still. Stillness is your vow. And then, your ears begin to ring. It is soft at first. A single tone, then another, then a third, dissonant, like music from beneath the ocean. Not meant for human hearing, but translated through the body. You understand none of it. And yet, you understand all of it. Because the body is not just receiving, it is being tuned, adjusted, aligned to frequencies you cannot name. Your spine begins to ache, a deep, pulling sensation between your shoulders. This is the part where others might wake, panic, cry out, but not you. You have learned that pain is not the enemy. It is the threshold. The sensation sharpens, not unbearable, but precise, as if something is being carved inside your marrow. You do not flinch. You offer it. You welcome it, because you know this is when the sleep becomes real. Not metaphor, not function, but sacrament. The carving fades, the ringing softens. Now the body cools. The warmth is gone. But you are not cold. You are hollow. And that is the goal. A vessel must be empty before it can be filled. Your breath is no longer yours. It continues, but without effort. You are not breathing. You are being breathed. Your heart no longer beats for survival. It pulses as rhythm, as code, as invitation. The hands across your chest grow numb. You no longer feel them, but you sense their purpose. They are no longer hands. They are symbols, closed circuits, a seal. Your face relaxes completely. Every muscle surrenders. And your thoughts, those last stubborn echoes, begin to blur. They do not stop. They dissolve. Not erased, but returned. Returned to where they came from, that dark, humming place beneath the waking mind. You are still awake somewhere, but not here. Not in this room, not in this body. And the body knows. It does not protest. It does not cling. It simply waits. Because sleep is not absence. It is presence in a different form. And as the final candle gutters, as its flame stretches once then dies, you feel it. A warmth, but not from fire. From below, not physical, not emotional. Something older. It rises through the stone, through the mat, through your spine, and fills the shape you used to call me. It does not speak. It does not command. It simply enters, and you allow. Because the body was never yours. It was only ever a door, and tonight it opens. You are not awake, and yet the world before you is clear. This is not the world of men. It is the world of meaning, stripped of structure, freed from logic, softened into truth. Here, time breathes differently. It doesn't move. It listens, waits. And you walk barefoot across it. The ground is neither stone nor sand, but something in between, porous, dark, and warm from below. It pulses faintly beneath your feet as if aware of your presence, as if welcoming you back. You are dressed as always, in the robe, the ink-stained hands, the silence. Even here you bring your stillness. There are no buildings here, only monoliths, towering and crooked, rising from fog like broken fingers reaching skyward. Each is marked, not carved, with symbols that twitch when you pass. They move slowly, patiently. You never touch them. You bow instead, one hand across your chest, the other open, palm upward. This is your greeting. This is your heritage. No one taught you this, but you know it, because it was remembered in your bones before your breath ever formed words. This is the dreamland of the follower, the inheritance of silence, a place where only those who do not speak are permitted to listen. You do not dream randomly. You arrive summoned. Each time you enter, you bring one offering. Tonight, it is a feather, soaked in seawater, dried in smoke, wrapped in linen. You carry it in your left hand beneath the robe. You approach the shore. There is always a shore. The sea is not like the waking sea. It is black and slow, barely moving, as if it has forgotten how to ripple. But it watches. Its surface is too smooth. Its reflection never matches the sky. You kneel there, where sand and silence touch. You place the feather on the ground and draw 3 concentric circles around it with your thumb. You hum, not aloud, but within. The hum is not music. It is a key. You feel your tongue vibrating in your mouth even though it does not move. This is the ritual of calling. You have done it many times, each time differently, each time the same. The dream responds. The sky does not darken, it folds. The clouds wrinkle like old paper, and one star, the wrong star, begins to blink. Your pulse quickens, not from fear, from reverence, because he is near, not as shape, not as sound, as weight. You feel it in your back first, a pressure, not heavy, but vast, like something ancient turning its attention toward a single grain of sand. You do not raise your head, not out of shame, out of wisdom. You speak, not with voice, with breath, with offering. You lift the feather, press it against your chest, and let it burn. It ignites with no flame, just heat. The smoke curls upward, curling in geometric spirals like a language the stars forgot how to speak. The sea reacts, not violently, just openly. It breathes in. The shoreline pulls back, revealing black stone steps descending beneath the waves. You do not follow, not yet. You wait, because that is the culture of your kind. Wait, endure, receive, repeat. You have no temples, no sermons, only rituals, only echoes. The others, the ancient ones, left you no scriptures, only rhythms. They taught through wind, through decay, through silence. And you learned. You are alone here, but not lonely. In the distance you see a shape rise from the sea, not a figure, not a face, just a suggestion, a curve, a shimmer, a question. It does not come closer, but it is closer than ever before. This is what devotion brings, not comfort, not salvation, but proximity, to terror, to awe, to meaning too large to hold. Your hands begin to shake, not from doubt, from intensity. The monoliths behind you whisper now, but not in warning, in greeting. They remember. You bow your head again, lower this time. You press your forehead to the dream soil, and it responds. A warmth seeps upward, not through your skin, through your thoughts. They melt. Ideas dissolve. Words lose structure. And all that remains is willingness. You do not dream of stories. You dream of seeds. Each image planted here will grow in the waking world. Each ritual performed here will echo in muscle and gesture. You do not know what you are becoming, only that you are no longer who you were. And as you kneel, as your body forgets its name, as the sea inhales again, you hear it, a single note, low, wet, vast. It is not language, it is permission. You have been seen, you have been marked. You will wake soon, not by alarm, but by instruction. And when you do, the ritual continues. Because the dream is not the end, it is the chamber, and you are the door. You no longer know if you are dreaming, or if the dream is now you. The lines that once divided sleep from waking, body from thought, desire from devotion, they dissolve, softly, like fog into ocean. Your breath is no longer rhythmic, it is reverent, measured as if someone else is watching, counting, deciding, and you feel it not above, not beside, but within. A slow, coiling awareness, not a presence in the room, a presence in you, in marrow, in silence, in thought before thought. He is not here. He is the here. The walls ripple, but do not move. The air thickens, but you do not choke. Your heart begins to pulse not in your chest, but behind your eyes. The hum returns, low, wet, ancient. It builds behind your skull like pressure before storm. But there is no pain, only awe, the kind of awe that undoes you. You're no longer alone. You're no longer you. Cthulhu does not enter. Cthulhu awakens, not in space, but in you. As if you were never a follower, only a chamber waiting to remember its purpose. You feel your thoughts bend, not break, bend, like reeds beneath a rising tide. Language slips away, not all at once, but with kindness. You understand now. He has no voice. He dreams you, and the dreaming is enough. You are not being spoken to. You are being read, page by page, emotion by emotion, flaw by sacred flaw, and you allow it. You remember the feather, the ink, the lines you wrote that made no sense until now. Now they form patterns. Now they echo. Every mark on your skin was a note in the song he's been humming since before time dried into shape. The darkness shifts. Not black, not void. Something thicker, something alive. It presses against the inside of your mind with no violence, just weight. The kind of weight that demands surrender. And you offer it. You were not built to resist. You were carved to contain. You kneel, not with your legs, but with your will. The room disappears. The mat, the candle, the walls, they fall inward like scenery folding after the final act. You are alone again, but now you carry him. Inside your ribs, something stirs. A rhythm not your own. It speaks in pulses. It speaks in color you cannot see. It speaks in thoughts that twist sideways. One of them lands. It's not a sentence, it's an imprint. You were never meant to speak. You were meant to remember me. You don't cry. Tears are too small. You dissolve. The body is still there, but only as a husk. You are elsewhere, and everywhere, at once. Your mind stretches outward, like roots through soil made of ink. You feel others, not many, but enough. Other minds, other vessels, other dreamers carved into worship by longing they couldn't name. You do not touch them, but you know them, and you are known. Cthulhu does not require altars. He requires openings. And you are open now. Your jaw relaxes. Your spine settles. Your breath becomes windless. And the silence inside you becomes the most sacred sound. The communion begins, not in ritual, but in remembrance. You remember things you never lived. A sky boiling backwards. An ocean with no floor. Eyes, unblinking, set into stone that bleeds thought. You remember being watched. Not yesterday, not ever, always, not in judgment, but in curiosity. like a sculptor regarding his own hand. You are a sketch in his dream, a fragment, a possibility, and still he is kind. His kindness is not warm, it is not gentle, it is exact. He reshapes nothing. He simply removes the lie of separation. You see now that fear was always a gift, a doorway, the final proof that something larger than self was near, and you walked through it, willingly. The darkness lightens, not with brightness, but with awareness. You are back. The candle is burning again. Your hands are where you left them. The floor is beneath you, but the inside of you has changed temperature. It is deeper. It is filled. It is watched. You sit upright, not rushed, not startled. You wake the way the ocean wakes, by rising. And as you take your first full breath in this new body, the one that now carries fragments of him, you feel no fear, only stillness. Because you were not visited. You were not chosen. You were always his. And now you remember. You wake. But waking is no longer what it once was. It is not sudden, not linear, not a return. It is a drifting upward through layers that resist your touch. You are not pulled from sleep. You are pushed from somewhere else. Your eyes open, but they do not recognize. They reflect. The ceiling is still above you, cracked, old, patient. But it watches you now, not with hostility, with memory. It knows what you carried back. Your body is stiff, but not tired. It feels like stone remembering movement. You rise slowly, not because of pain, but because of gravity that questions you. The air is colder, not in temperature, in intention. It brushes your skin like a hand that's never seen light. The candle has burned out. Its smoke lingers longer than it should. You follow it with your eyes as it coils upward, spelling nothing, but meaning everything. You try to breathe deeply. You do, but the breath feels shared, as if something else is inhaling with you. You close your eyes again, just for a moment, just to test the distance. But the dream is still there, close, not fading. You see the sea, still black, still slow. You feel his hum tucked beneath your heartbeat like a second rhythm. And you understand. You did not leave the dream. You brought it back. The room is quieter now, not silent, listening. Every object, the bowl, the mat, the wax-streaked wall, feels closer, as if the space between things has thinned. You step barefoot across the floor. Your feet remember where to go, but your mind drags behind. Thought comes slowly, like letters floating through fog. You pass the wall. You look at the lines you've drawn for months. They no longer seem flat. They breathe. They shimmer faintly. One of them ripples as if it heard your return. You press your hand to the wall, not to mark, to ask. The wall is cool, but it vibrates. You pull back. The floor creaks, but now it sounds like language you've forgotten. The door is shut, but light pushes under it, timid and blue. You should open it. You don't, not yet, because the world outside is no longer real, not fully. You remember how it used to feel, bright, solid, safe. Now it feels staged, painted, performative. The people you once greeted, the streets you once walked, the sea you once revered, they are thinner now, as if Cthulhu didn't just dream you. He dreamed everything else less real. You are awake, but the world is sleeping, and inside you, he stirs. Not fully, not maliciously, just present, like a dream you cannot retell but cannot forget. You speak his name silently, not aloud, not in words, just in shape, in acceptance, and the air responds. A whisper, no sound, just movement, just agreement. You sit again, not to pray, not to think, to settle, to let the waking world adjust to your return. You feel your pulse in your fingertips, but it is not alone. There is something else. A second rhythm, slower, deeper, older. You do not fear it. You respect it. It is what remains after truth tears through dream. You try to remember who you were before the ritual, before the sea, before the descent, but the memory resists. Like trying to touch your own reflection in oil. You are still yourself, but no longer singular. You are a shell carrying ocean, a word carrying echo. You walk toward the window. The sky outside is gray, but it is the wrong gray, too pale, too still, too watching. You reach for the shutters, pause, because what if you open them, and he is there? Not as form, but as confirmation. You lower your hand. Some doors don't need opening. Some thresholds remain thresholds forever. You step back. The room breathes, and in that breath you understand. The ritual did not end. It changed its name. It is now called being. Every step you take, every silence you keep, every breath you offer, is part of the dream that continues. Not inside you, through you. Cthulhu does not leave. He recedes. He waits. He resonates. And so you live. Not as you were, but as you now are. A sleeper who woke into something deeper. A voice that echoes without needing sound. A door that no longer remembers how to close. You no longer know where you end. You feel blurred. Not broken, not lost, just thinned. Like the edge of smoke after the fire forgets it ever burned. You are still breathing, but your breath is no longer yours. It is the room's. It is the silence's. It is his, and it is enough. The walls no longer exist. Only warmth, only curve, only the gentle pressure of something larger cradling you without touch. The mat beneath you is no longer a place. It is a gesture. You do not lie upon it. You are offered by it. The air tastes of salt, old salt, like ocean from before the flood, like memories no one had but all carry. You blink once, not to see, but to release the last image, and it goes gratefully. The hum in your chest softens. It is not gone, just quieter. The way a drumbeat becomes heartbeat becomes hush. You feel your body as a shadow of shape, not heavy, not still, just remembered. The thoughts no longer march, they drift, not ideas, just sensations dressed in the clothing of thought. You remember something, a tentacle coiled like a prayer, a mouth that never opened but understood you completely. It is not a nightmare. It is not a blessing. It is the truth before language. You surrender it all. The need to grasp, the need to narrate, the need to name. Now you just float in meaningless fullness. You do not think I am asleep. You simply are. A hum, a space, a ripple in something that was once called time. You hear water, but there is no sea. You hear voices, but none are speaking. You hear him, but only through your own stillness, because Cthulhu does not speak. He reverberates, and in this hush, you are the chamber that lets the sound exist. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer returning. You are no longer you. You are what remains. The candle has long died, but light, soft, not seen, clings to the shape of your shoulders. You are covered by something that cannot be sewn, warmed by something that cannot be found. You drift, and in the drifting you feel them. Others, not near, not far, just parallel. Sleeping, dreaming, humming in unison across oceans and lifetimes, their names never spoken, their stories never told, but each one a thread in the tapestry of the God who sleeps. You are among them, not special, not different, just willing. You feel your spine as a vine of lightless energy, twisting once. Then stilled you feel your hands as branches submerged, rooted in thoughtless devotion. You feel your lips as silent psalms pressed shut by understanding. No movement, no prayer, just presence. You hear a sound that is not sound, a pressure curling softly inward, like the whole world exhaling once, then waiting. Waiting for what? For you to become just that, an echo. You let go, not of memory, of need. No need to hold the dream, no need to hold the shape, no need to wake. Because this is the real place. The waking was the ritual, the dream was the door, and this stillness is the destination. There is no story to finish, no revelation to record. Only this, a quiet that sings, a silence that remembers, a sleep that is not forgetting, but return. You are not alone, but neither are you joined. You are suspended between what was once flesh and what is now known. There are no questions here, only acceptance that breathes like tide and wraps like fog. You do not sink, you do not rise. You become neutral, present, empty, ready, not for what comes next, but for what always was. And the last sound you feel is not from this world. It is from beneath it, a pulse, a presence, a promise, that he still dreams, and in his dreaming you still exist, not to awaken, not to escape, but to become part of the hum that holds everything. Sleep now, and let go not of yourself, but of needing to be anything at all. Because here, in the deepest quiet, you are no longer the follower. You are the dream. You made it, not just through the story, but through the unraveling, the dissolving, the long, slow fading of everything you thought you were. You're not following anymore. You're floating, held not by thought, but by something quieter, something older, something that does not ask, and you don't need to answer. You don't need to understand. You don't even need to try, because now you're allowed to let go. Let go of the shapes, the sounds, the fragments of meaning. Let go of the day that tried too hard to define you. Let go of the name that once felt like a boundary. Let go of the edges of yourself. You are no longer a self. You are breath. You are warmth. You are a ripple in something vast and kind. There is nothing to finish, no arc to close, no conclusion to reach. Only this stillness, only this moment unfolding in darkness, like ink beneath water, like a tide that doesn't return. And in this stillness, there is a hum. It's not sound, it's memory, it's echo. You don't hear it, you feel it, like a heartbeat buried deep beneath the floor of the world. And it knows you. It always did. So breathe now, slow, easy, weightless. Let the air come in like moonlight through a crack in the wall, and let it leave as if it never needed to stay. There's no need to watch anymore. No need to listen. No need to wait. Sleep doesn't come to you. You drift into it. And even if you're still here, still aware, that's all right. Because awareness is just another layer you'll leave behind. Soon, you won't even know you were listening. The voice will become just a texture, the silence, a blanket, and the story, a distant hum that once carried you across the edge of yourself. So close your eyes a little heavier, loosen the jaw, let the weight slide down into the floor, into the earth, into the deep ancient quiet beneath everything. That's where you are now, not above, not below, just through. Let the flicker fade, let the last word vanish before it fully forms. There's no more you to hold it anyway. Only the hum remains, and the sea, and him. Sleep.